Here's another one. The individual's inner speech and actions attract the conditions of his life. So here we go with yet another Neville Goddard quote, which is saying the same thing we've been saying all along. Your inner speech, your inner conversations. You talk to yourself all day long in your head. I know you do because everybody does. What are you saying? Try to keep tabs on what you are saying. Catch yourself. When you're saying something that is opposing where you want to go, cut it off. Cut it off. Nip it in the bud. Neville Goddard tells us the story about the bush, the tree, the bush, uh, that you have to, it rewards the hand that wisely wounded it, is how he says it. It's like a fruit tree or something that it's growing all over the place. It's not going to create. It may not create any fruit. It may create a little bit of fruit, but not much. You have to prune it. When you cut a branch on a tree, you're wounding that tree. But when you're pruning it, you're wisely wounding it. You're thinking you're wounding it in a way that it's going to make it stronger. It's going to concentrate all that life force and vitality into a smaller area, and it's going to create more fruit. Any botanist or whatever will tell you this. This is an analogy, but it's a perfect analogy to this thing in your mind. If you allow all these crazy thoughts to just grow wild randomly, you end up with what you've had all along, which is this random assortment of manifestations, most of which you don't want. It's sloppy. You need to neaten it up. You need to, I'm cutting here. You need to wisely wound it. You need to prune it. You need to prune out those negative thoughts. That's the whole analogy here. You need to prune out those negative thoughts, and that's what you do when you watch your inner speech. That's where the whole mental diet thing comes from. It's the same thing, just said a different way. And your actions as well, right? It's not just your thoughts, but your actions. If they're negative or whatever, they're going to attract the same thing. Going to result in the same thing. So you need to watch that inner speech and those actions because they will attract the conditions of your life. Prune out the negative, do the positive. That's, like I said, that's where the affirmations come in. You're training your brain, you're training your conscious, subconscious to accept these new ideas. And it may take work because you may be totally alien. If you've been a very negative person, for example, your whole life, or depressed or whatever, glass half empty, right? It may take some work to start inner talking that the glass is half full. It might take a lot of work, but it's work you're going to have to do if you want to change, and it's the same similar thing with, I remember in The Secret where the guy talks about visualizing the car. He talks about getting in the car and in the dark room, and he's visualizing. He's doing almost like sats. But in this case, he's talking about actually going through the motions. He's like, you're in a dark room, you're in your house, no one's watching you. You do this in private, and you're driving along, you're waving to people, you're really feeling it. And he even says in that little thing, he says, well, people say to me, do I really have to do that? He's like, how much do you want change? It's the same thing. I saw The Secret years ago, but it left it didn't explain things nearly as well as Neville Goddard does. And it left a lot of blanks and just a lot of questions that needed answering before you could really accept it. I wish I would have found Neville Goddard decades ago. So anyway, there you have it. The individual's inner speech and actions attract the conditions of his life. So where do you want your life to go? And change that inner speech. All the things we've been talking about all along. I'm not going to keep saying it in this video, at least. You'll hear it in other ones. But I'm going to keep coming back with these Neville Goddard isms because, as he said in his talks, people need to hear it over and over and over again. Because it's like you wake someone up from a long slumber. The long slumber equals their life up until this point, letting things happen randomly or negatively, things that they don't, the life they don't want. And then you wake them up momentarily. They start doing the things that will get them what they want. They have a success. And then the bridge of incidences that led to that are, of course, so logical, right? That the logical mind, the ego kicks in and says, well, it would have happened like that anyway. And they go right back to sleep. Right back to sleep. So you want to prevent yourself from going right back to sleep. It takes training. It takes training. Mental diet, affirmations, positive thoughts, positive mental conversations. If that boss is being a real SOB, then imagine he's really sweet and he's complimenting you. It's not always easy because you can have such a visceral view of someone. It's hard to imagine them being nice. I get that. But if you keep doing it the way you are, it's never going to change. You need to change strategy. You need to change strategy. So anyway, there you go. I hope this helps someone. I hope someone appreciated this. I'm going to upload a bunch of these videos. And please like and subscribe. Hit the bell. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.